MLBBro Show podcast is sponsored by Prime 39. Long Island's newest restaurant is located in the heart of Lynbrook. Prime 39 boasts an intimate yet chic ambiance, bringing you a Manhattan eclectic vibe to Nassau County.
This is another episode of the MLBBro Show mixtape podcast, where we bring you the latest and greatest in black and brown MLB ballers. It's the Soul Glow Show with the stats, facts, and dynamic acts of the melanated diamond miners that comprise 7% of the game, but 100% of the heart and hustle.
This is the rundown. Stay 10 toes, baby. Don't let your team get taken out the game.
I can't front. There are some MLB bros that are struggling at the plate, but batting averages across the entire league are down. That, however, doesn't seem to be affecting Yankee slugger Aaron Judge, who's holding down the fort with MLB bros Aaron Hicks and Giancarlo Stanton out with injuries. Judge was unstoppable with the wood, winning AL Player of the Week. He batted over 500 and hit a Donkey Kong dung load of homers and carried the New York Yankees. Chicago White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson. He's doing what Timmy Spice does, getting multiple hits, running the bases like Kenny Lofton in '96. By the way, Lofton had 210 hits, 75 steals, and hit .317 that year for Cleveland. Anyway, I digress. But Anderson is hitting .331, and he's 13 for his last 29 entering Tuesday night. And he is on fire, aiming for another batting crown. Run it down, Anderson. Cedric Mullins, Baltimore Orioles, he's still going strong as Baltimore tries to survive and rebuild in a tough AL East. His multifaceted play, hitting above 300, getting on base, using his speed, and flexing a capable glove makes Cedric Mullins and Baltimore a tough out any night. Let's go out west for a minute. Those San Diego Padres and the party starter, the igniter, Trent Grisham. You'll find him somewhere at the top of the lineup, and he's still kicking ass over in San Diego. While Machado and Fernando Tatis get all the ink, Grisham just tattoos the ball, batting over 300. He swipes bags, he has 7, and he's slugging 500. So the Padres lineup is a problem. And the young Grisham, the multi-tool Black Knight, is a huge reason why. Last but not least on the rundown is Toronto Blue Jays free agent second baseman Marcus Semien. He's been black on the attack, batting a solid .270 while leading all second basemen in homers with 9, and he's second among MLB second basemen in slugging, and he's top 5 in steals. This guy's looking like a MLBBro Black Knight Super Show 30-30 candidate. Let's get it on some Barry Bonds back in the day stuff. First to do it since Mookie Betts went 30-30 in his MVP year. So shouts to Marcus Semien and shouts to all of these guys, all these MLB bros. This is the rundown.
The Black Ace Report, baby. Woo!
It's time for the Black Ace Report. Jack Flaherty still leads the pack. The St. Louis Cardinals ace has not lost a game yet, and he's going for his 8th win tonight already. Can you say legit Black Ace? We know what Black Ace refers to. The 15 black and brown pitchers in Major League Baseball history who have won 20 or more games, the last being David Price in 2012. It's been almost 10 years since a melanated Mal Murata hit the 20-win marker. The way the game has changed makes it hard for anybody to get enough innings or starts to get 20. But Flaherty's winning every time out, and St. Louis is giving him great run support. And when they don't, he's throwing blanks. And that's basically what it will take. Until Jack Flaherty loses, the St. Louis Cardinals pitcher is my Cy Young Award winner and a long shot to become the 16th black ace in the history of Major League Baseball. Let's go over to New York City, where the Mets' dynamic duo of Taijuan Walker, aka Ty Weezy, and Marcus Stroman, the HDMH King, are still pitching lights out in Jacob deGrom's absence. Walker did, however, lead the game on Monday night after 3 shutout innings with tightness. Let's pray he can make a quick return. because the Mets can't take much more injuries, and Walker and Stroman have been both doing their Black Knight thing with ERAs under 2. They're on their way to career seasons and proving that the brothers on the mound are still alive and kicking. And this is the Black Ace Report for this week.
Man, I don't care what you swing at it. Black don't crack.
It's time for Black Don't Crack. When Kyle Lewis, the center fielder for the Seattle Mariners, went down early this season, rookie Taylor Trammell became a starter, and he battled with the ups and downs of being a first-year player, filling some big shoes. When he was sent back down to the minors, though, Trammell, he didn't fret, and he didn't crack. The 23-year-old multifaceted outfielder has been doing serious damage since being demoted to AAA Tacoma. He has homers in each of his last 3 games and has collected 14 RBI in the last 5 games as of Tuesday. He's sizzling. That Seattle Mariners outfield is kind of crowded though, with Mitch Haniger killing and 21-year-old phenom Jared Kelenic, who just came up. Seattle's very high on him. And then you got your bread and butter guy Kyle Lewis holding down center. Not sure where that leads Trammell, who has as much talent or more than all of them. We should see some serious competition among those outfielders as time progresses, because you can't leave Trammell in the minors, because the way he's defacing pitchers shows that he's a major league player who needs to play every day and work through issues until he blossoms. If it can't happen in Seattle, look for Trammell to be moved if he doesn't come back up soon, because he's got a lot of talent, he's on the attack, and trust me, his black ain't even begun to crack.
You are now tuned in with Classic Hits, bringing the sick and classics with David Grubb.
What's up, everybody? I'm David Grubb, and this is another edition of Classic Hits, the place to get reacquainted with some of the very best players and biggest characters in baseball history. If Dennis Ray Oil Can Boyd didn't exist, I don't think anyone could have made him up. His story reads like a legend. He earned his nickname at the age of 7. Apparently, young Dennis got caught drinking moonshine whiskey out of oil cans, and the name stuck. His baseball bona fides came through his blood. He had 2 uncles and 1 great-great-uncle who played in the Negro Leagues, and Hall of Fame shortstop Barry Larkin is his cousin. The tall, skinny kid from Meridian, Mississippi was drafted by the Boston Red Sox, of all teams, out of Jackson State University in 1980, even drawing comparisons to the great Satchel Paige. In 1984, the Oil Can started to get things moving. He went 12-12 for the Red Sox, tying him for the team lead in wins. From 84 to 1986, Boyd went 43-35 with a 3.92 earned run average. He was charismatic, he was intense, and he was black in Beantown. It was a mix that created a lot of excitement and a lot of tension. His career reached its peak during that 86 season. The Red Sox were the best team in baseball for most of the year, and Oil Can was one of its best pitchers. Over his first 16 starts, he went 10-5 with a 3.4 ERA. But when the All-Star rosters were announced, Boyd's name was nowhere to be found. He got beaten out by the immortal Ken Schramm and knuckleballer Charlie Huff. That ain't sit right with the Oil Can, so he dipped on everybody. The Red Sox, baseball, everybody. When he resurfaced, Boston suspended him for 21 games. During his suspension, he got into a fight with Boston police and injured his arm. That would affect the rest of his career. Still, he finished the season 16-10, second best on the Red Sox behind Cy Young winner Roger Clemens, and he won the game that clinched the AL East title for Boston. Through the playoffs and into the World Series, the Red Sox went. After they lost that epic Game 6 to the New York Mets, it was Oil Can who was supposed to pitch Game 7. Just like at the All-Star game, he didn't get the chance that he thought he had earned. Instead, Bruce Hurst and Calvin Schiraldi got rocked, and the Mets rolled to an 8-5 win and the World Series championship. Nothing was the same after that. The injuries kept building as he only won 13 games over the next 3 seasons. Oil Can had a bounce-back season in 1990 with the Expos, winning 10 games with a 2.93 ERA. But after going 8-15 in 91 with the Expos and the Texas Rangers, he decided to call it a career. Today, Dennis Oil Can Boyd lives in Rhode Island with his wife, doing his thing and still trying to share his love of the game. He's even working on a baseball academy in his native Mississippi. He is truly one of the original characters of Major League Baseball. I'm David Grubb, and I'll be back next week with another edition of Classic Hits.
All things physical destined for change, and this is Changing the Culture.
Changing the culture. Tommy Pham, Billy Hamilton, Jackie Bradley Jr., Byron Buxton when he's healthy. As reporter Brandon Carr from MLBBro.com described it in one of his great pieces, the defensive genius of these outfielders is poetry in motion. Climbing walls like Spider-Man, diving, tantalizing the crowd. They have to cover hundreds of feet of ground in a loud stadium with people yelling and screaming. Well, not in these pandemic times, but usually. And they have to become track stars and contortionists to get the job done. In a game obsessed with hitting the ball 400 feet and promoting one aspect of the game, we forget that like football and basketball, baseball is also executed on both sides of the ball. In fact, the pitcher and the quarterback are the two most influential, demanding, and accolade-dripping or goat-ripping positions in sports. They equal defense. The people that protect the pitcher, the infielders and outfielders, are often ignored, but the way they perform affects the game as much as anything else. That's why we have a state and a good stat called defensive runs saved and defensive WAR. All of the aforementioned webmasters rank formidably in these categories. Never forget what great gloves bring to the game. Saving 3 runs with the diving catch is always better than hitting one solo homer. So Jackie Bradley, regardless of what he's hitting, he's worth it because of his defensive prowess. Let's understand that defense also wins when we're changing the game, creating the culture, changing the game, creating the culture, changing the culture, creating the game. Let's go.
Damn, them boys down bad. Now it's time for Show Nuff in a Rut.
It's time for Show Nuff in a Rut. Akil the Real Deal Badu was the talk of baseball, homering in his first big league at bat and tearing it up for Shizzle the first week of the season. The rookies hit the wall of late though, and his average is down, way down, to 221, and he's been seeing more pine time, but he is 4 for 9 in his last 5 games entering Tuesday night. So let's hope he turns the corner, cause he started off with a bang, and he doesn't want to go out with a fizzle. He has too much talent for that. The great Mookie Betts, believe it or not, is still hovering around 250 and can't get that bat sizzling yet. We believe in you, Mookie, but you're show enough in a rut, just like your man Akil the Real Deal Badu. But y'all pop out of it. Justin Upton, he's been in this game a long time, hit a lot of knocks. He has 7 homers, but that's about it. The perennial all-stars hitting just 197 as of Tuesday, and he's hitless in his last 11 at-bats. Now that's Pepe Le Pew. Justin Upton will rebound, but right now, he's show enough in a rut. Show enough in a rut. Let's hope all of these Black Knights turn it around soon and get back on track.
Extra, extra, read all about it. This is Extra Base Power.
What's up, everyone? Christian Crittenden here once again with another edition of Extra Base Power, where I'll be telling you about some of the best things that I saw from black and brown players throughout the game of baseball this week. While home runs are all the rage these days in MLB, true baseball fans, and I mean true baseball fans, can always appreciate a good web gem. These MLB bros kill it week in and week out on the diamond for their teams. First up, we got Jackie Bradley Jr., or JBJ as some may call him, who's arguably the best defensive outfielder in the league, and he showed why last week when he had 2 stellar catches, 1 robbing the player of a home run. And don't even think about running on him because he's made a career out of throwing runners out when they try. The one-time Gold Glove winner, going for a second this year, man in center field for the Milwaukee Brewers. We got the 2020 Gold Glove winner, J.P. Crawford, who's on a hunt for a second. He's off to a great start as well. Entering the week, he had a fielding percentage of nearly 1,000. He gobbles up everything that comes to him, and even out of his range. The guy's that good. And of course, we can't forget about the heart of the south side of Chicago, Tim Anderson, stellar shortstop for the Chicago White Sox. he's been amazing so far throughout his career and even this season. Allowing very few errors, he gobbles up everything that comes his way and even out of his range. He's vying for his first Gold Glove this year. It'll be hard going up against Crawford, but he already has a batting title and a Silver Slugger. So the Gold Glove will be icing on the cake for Anderson. Alright, I want to take this time to give a huge shout out to the players of the MLB Player Alliance. It's a team comprised of over 150 current and former players, and they work tirelessly day in and day out to grow the game of baseball in the black community. Led by former All-Stars Curtis Granderson and CeCe Sabathia, the group has donated over $41 million to the black community. They've created programs such as player mentorship, educational fundamental camps, as well as support for black businesses. We started off last summer as a viral social media trend. It's turned into an alliance, giving people and players a voice. And that's it for this week. Be sure to turn in next week for more Extra Base Power. I'm Christian Crittenden.
That concludes another episode of the MLBBro Show podcast mixtape for this week. Remember, we will gladly pay you on Tuesday for an MLBBro doubleheader today. The heart of the game lies in the diversity of the game and the spirit of black baseball that dates back to the Negro Leagues. I, the Gambler, your friendly neighborhood diamond checker, making sure that you stay on top of the game and in touch with the soul of MLB. See you next week, ladies and germs. We out of here. Drop the mic, please.
MLBBro Show podcast is sponsored by Prime 39. Long Island's newest restaurant is located in the heart of Lynbrook. Prime 39 boasts an intimate yet chic ambiance, bringing you a Manhattan eclectic vibe to Nassau County. And also sponsored by 222 Media and Space Fruit Courier Service. Services out of this world, coming straight to a neighborhood near you. All music on the MLBBro Show podcast has been brought to you by Quate, Uninvited, and the Loner Music Group.